world changes soon. Can get a doobie on a plane, but there's Uzis in our schools. Every dude who touched a boob or a booty getting me tooed. What you expect from the kids who went to Hooters after school? We're all triggered and defensive. We're all racist and we're sexist. We all grew up watching South Park. How are we offended? Now being fat is beautiful. Name a thing that you can't do. Jumping jacks, run a mile, live past 42. Man, it used to be cool to just flip a bird to the system, and now it's trendy to be triggered and pretend you're a victim. It's my race, it's my weight, it's because I'm a Christian. I hate the internet and anyone who has an opinion. And everybody angry if you say white. Okay, fine. Pass me the brush and I'll paint my face to the shades right. Let's talk about abortion. Sorry, tell me how this works.
Bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth. Weird.
Y'all so stupid. Why are y'all so stupid? Get better problems, I swear to God that y'all want them. Y'all so dumb. People so stupid. People so dumb. People so boo-hoo. Wah. Get better issues, we're gonna run out of tissues. It's so dumb. I'm a hater cause I can't relate to gay pride. Call me homophobic because I don't want to date guys. K-tight. I for one am not surprised the world declined along the way. Give trophies to children for losing just cause they decide to play. The exercise a right to... Get better problems, I swear to God that y'all want them. Y'all so dumb. People so stupid. Vote and hate the politicians. Ay, this is a democracy, it's partly your decision. Ay, this is weird, feels like this a different year. If I identify as a female, then when my balls and penis disappear. Children want a gender switch and hating men is feminist. Depression and anxiety are trendy, we're too sensitive. Invented 80 genders, mad the world is not accepting it. Then gave them more attention than normal women and men can get. What a contradiction, being human is so tragic. Focus on minorities, ignoring all the masses. Hallelujah, everyone. Activism saved the planet. No more plastic straws and paper, just paper straws wrapped in plastic. Congratulations. Y'all so stupid. Why are y'all so stupid? Get better problems, I swear to God that y'all want them. Y'all so dumb. People so stupid. People so dumb. People so boo-hoo. Wah. Get better issues, we're gonna run out of tissues. It's so dumb. Look, I get it, it's like the world is going crazy. Seems like a school shooting happens almost daily. The racism, rape culture, hatred that we're facing is way too ingrained for our hashtags to change it. We've become so lazy and complacent, afraid of our generation. We think activism's Instagramming memes and complaining. It's a problem when there's actually actions you could be taking, but you're triggered so you just cry like a baby. Y'all so stupid. Why are y'all so stupid? Get better problems, I swear to God that y'all want them. Y'all so dumb. People so stupid. People so dumb. People so boo-hoo. Wah. Get better issues, we're gonna run out of tissues. It's so dumb.
Alright, welcome to On the Low. It wouldn't be an amateur stream without a few tech issues. I'm gonna unmute Envy and we'll get started.
Hello,
can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Great, good. Yeah, so I messed up some stuff, but hey, you know, got it all figured out.
We're here now. So, yeah, this is, you know, and...
Oh, you cut out there a little bit.
This is just an attempt, you know, that we're trying to do. And if it goes well, it goes well. And if it doesn't go well, you know, we'll see. But, you know, it's just two guys having a conversation. We don't really get to talk about these things in our real life with many people. So why not just do it on stream?
I couldn't have said it better myself. You cut out a little bit during the beginning, but very well said.
Right, cool.
Alright, let's get this window out of here. Okay,
So,
why is...
Are we just going to be starting right at the beginning? Just something, you know, we're going to go into the shootings, I think. Touch on a few more fun stuff as well. This isn't just a political show. This
sure.
This is things going on in our general sphere.
Real life is black pilling enough, so
Exactly.
you
But
gotta have a little
there are
bit of
certain
fun.
things. Yeah, but there are certain things you can't avoid. And we all know what's been going on. So let's have some fun.
I mean, the media throws it up in your face every chance they get, no matter what. So you'd have to be living under a rock to not realize it at this point, or just completely unplugged, which I am jealous of.
Yes, some people can, but I've never succeeded at that.
Yeah, the old Kaczynski method.
Well, the system, it is oppressing.
Yep, you know what they say about technology. All right.
Yeah, well,
So just give me a second here. I'm getting the Discord overlay to work properly.
okay. Well, I think we're going to talk about Leafy is here first. So let's just start there. It's something nice
Perfect.
and easy. I mean,
So I
we've
know a
all
little
seen-
bit about Leafy, not a whole ton. So this will be cool. Good chance for you to educate me a little bit. I know he was he either the first subject or like the most popular subject of Content Cop from iDubbbz.
yeah, that was when iDubbbz actually, kept it fun. Didn't take himself too seriously, and yeah, he's one of his biggest. But he did do quite a few. He did the Keemstar one, which was very big, and that started the whole sort of explosion of the drama community, and obviously involved Keemstar. Leafy is here, Grade A Under A, and Keemstar created a podcast called Baited Podcast, which he did with Colossal is Crazy, which is
Yep.
a good content creator. You should check it out.
Yeah, man, I have a love-hate relationship with people like those. There's a guy I watch content that's kind of similar. His name's Danknet. He just never doesn't upload too often, but when he does, it's always amazing.
Yeah, I've heard of Dangnet. I'm sure I have seen something along
Yeah,
those
he
lines.
follows like lol cows in the fitness community.
Right.
So he you wouldn't
But
necessarily know how great it
Yeah.
is unless you give it a shot. All right,
But
we got the overlay working, so no longer distracted host. All right.
Okay.
Cool beans.
We'll just bring that first tweet because we know what's happened. At the end of the day, he got banned. He asked YouTube what was going on. They eventually responded.
Okay, cool. I actually have that tweet. Let me see. Starting it off right. With the Leafy tweet. And he started off of just basically doing commentary over CS:GO surf stuff.
Yeah, CS:GO surf stuff, and he, the more precious among them would call him cyberbullying young kids.
Just harassing these poor content creators, man. Some people, they have no lives.
I mean, Leafy is here has his place. I mean, no one's going to say he's the most hardcore, edgy person ever. But in his space, it was a sort of, teenager sort of rebellion, sort of, look at that kid, he looks like an idiot. And, it's fun. It's just a bit of fun. And that was a bit back in 2016 when you could have a bit of fun. And then the landscape started to change. And that's when Leafy disappeared. And then he's come back, and yeah, maybe he did 8 or 9 videos taking the mick out of Pokemon, but
I mean, how long are his videos generally?
it depends on the video. He'll literally do a 10-second video, or he'll do a 50-minute video. It just really does depend. It's generally anywhere from a couple of minutes to 10 minutes, but then the reply afterwards, he just replies back to YouTube because I think at that he knows that he's not going back, and he's like, "She ain't gonna fuck you, bro." And
Yeah, his tweet here, still no word from Team YouTube or at YT Creators on suspension. If they want to keep me banned, fine. We'll miss having that outlet, but I've mainly been doing this for fun since coming back. So yeah, making that comeback you were talking about. Some videos were
Yeah.
more crude than others, but personally, I don't think I was that bad. Fun website. So, was he monetized before he got banned?
No, they had. I'm pretty sure they had. I'm pretty sure they had demonetized. But the thing is, he did create another channel straight after he got banned from that one, and then they banned it again. So that's them.
It was like Leafy is back or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And I think he did post another Pokemon video, but but yeah,
Yeah.
like, but if you go on link 2, you know, he does reply. I thought it had the reply in the first link from YouTube.
Yeah.
But it's a standard template.
Is this when he
reply.
replies to Team YouTube?
Yeah.
She ain't gonna fuck you, bro. That's, you know, falling with class. The only thing I remember about Leafy, is it not true that he used to position his microphone in front of his face to hide his disgusting chin?
Yes, and he used to do like the OK, like symbol around his chin. I guess that was the sort of thing, but it's just to
try
hide
and
it.
give it some definition. I got it.
I mean,
Okay,
he is.
you know.
He is chinless, and there's that classic Idols video up.
Yeah, that's right. I think I remember that. He's got that. I think one time I googled incel because I was trying to find the Chad meme, and there was just pictures with just these chinless dudes. I feel bad for him, but who says you got to put your face out there like that? But even if you are deformed, just be confident about it. Nobody's upset at you for looking weird.
But if you dish it out, and he definitely dished it out, he couldn't quite take it back, and Idols did kind of nail him to a wall. He can't, and you know that probably helped in his retreat from the internet for a bit. So you know he got his licks just as much as anybody else did.
Yeah, you know, people that pretend that nothing offends them a whole ton are typically the people that are just super triggered about everything.
Yeah, so obviously there's a link to the H3H3. So if you go to link 4, that's H3H3. Basically, you know, because he when Leafy first came back, he obviously said that. Obviously, I forget exactly what it said now. I should pull it up myself.
Are you talking
you'll never...
about the BitChute link?
No, link 4.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
Yeah, we'll do the video then, because I think that's worth playing.
Yeah, I remember seeing this tweet actually, because this is after I started using Twitter, which was very, very recently.
Yeah, and he was like, I would love to see Leafy try and exist in today's current landscape.
And I was
that
like the timing.
Yeah, and he kept saying that over and over again. But yeah, and you know, H3H3 is just, you know, he's obviously got close to Susan Wojcicki. There's that picture of them together inside their studio doing the podcast, and he's been having a hard on for Keem. And it's just I think really it does boil down to Keemstar and H3H3 getting into it with each other. For example, Keemstar posting horse pictures at Ethan to
what could he possibly be referencing with horse pictures?
So he kept doing it. He did keep doing it. You know, Keemstar, you know, he's MAGA.
Keemstar is
basic bitch, you know.
Yeah,
MAGA
he's in it for the drama.
Yeah, but
but you mean politically? He's fairly Trumpian.
Yeah, 100%. He's
okay, cool.
He's like a massive. He was a Trump fan. To be fair to him, he was a Trump fan before Trump was even gonna be president. Way back. He is an older gentleman.
Yeah, he is. Let's see. He definitely dyes his beard. I think it just looks so dark.
He looks after, to be fair.
Very suspect. Very suspect.
But if you want to play that video, I think this video is what got him banned. Now I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it has been mirrored on YouTube and other. So
you want me to start it at that timestamp?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Just let me know. Let me. Okay. Do a 3, 2, 1.
All right. You at 13:35?
I am. Yep.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
People saying, "Oh, Leafy, come back." I would love to see Leafy come back and try to exist in the landscape today. Like the content that he was making would never fly on YouTube today, and you have to adapt and overcome the fact that, like, you can't even curse bro like I do know. I'd love to see him succeed in today's climate. Alright guys, have a great weekend, we love you. See you next week on the H3H3 podcast.
That was a good show.
Thanks babe, you
It's
go
so
on ahead, I
mesmerizing.
have to do some stuff here in the
It's
studio.
very, very strange. And it does get strange.
Okay, don't work too hard.
It's more scary because of the amount of effort this probably took.
Probably quite. I don't think Leafy himself made it.
You don't think so?
No. Well, I don't know actually. I'm not sure.
Oh Leafy, come back. Please come back. I need you.
HV has definitely ripped his mask off now. He's not even hiding. He had
You've come back.
the sandpiper on.
He did a motherfucking, he pulled a Maddox, bro.
Yes, I have returned.
Basically got sponsors away.
I've been waiting for you so very long.
So he is a piece of shit.
I know, but I'm very disappointed in you, Ethan.
No Leafy, how can I make it up to you?
You have to make a sacrifice.
A sacrifice?
Yeah, or else I'm gonna leave this place forever and you're never gonna see me again.
I'll do it.
Oh my god. Oh, ASMR.
But that's
Leafy,
it.
did I do good?
Here, Ethan, I want you to read this.
I don't give a shit. I want to watch this whole thing. Oh, yeah. I like that.
It's just basic edgy humor.
Kiss.
Nothing wrong.
He gave him a kiss. I love the sound just drops off. Because there's just so much background noise, but it builds
Goodbye,
so
Ethan.
slowly.
Very well made, really. But that's how he's acting, you know.
Yeah.
That's what HV actually believes is happening.
Right, exactly.
So long, you disgusting fucking planet! You guys were all just a bunch of fucking apes anyway.
Just a bunch of fucking apes. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, it's got to carry on. I don't think Ethan's gonna stop. He's trying to get Keemstar, but it's just gonna keep
Yeah,
carrying on.
so, fucking G Fuel, was that not Keemstar's bread and butter type sponsorship?
Exactly.
And then,
yeah.
you know, fucking the other Ethan fucked it up for him, and that's like, he definitely pulled a Maddox. He went after his job, and that's just a bitch move.
Code Keem, wasn't it?
Every single time, yeah. For what was it, like children dying of heart attacks or whatever?
I'd be interested to know how much that has actually contributed to the growth of that company and how much they're actually
Keemstar,
shouting
it's
about.
probably more than you'd think, more than any normie would realize. Cause
The Walrus in the chat says "Dem elf ears though."
dim elf ears, yeah, he likes Leafy, I guess. That's a Zelda. He does look kind of like Link a little bit. He actually kind of looks more like Zelda, if you ask me.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I can see it now. I didn't think of him like that before, but yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's just another YouTube. I've always seen like Elephant's Vince James. He got banned.
Yeah.
So,
Even though I
so
don't necessarily like listening to him too much, it's stupid that he got banned for his beliefs, for the way he looks, for his gender, for his race.
yeah, and I mean, you could argue about him being just an. He obviously just shouldn't.
You said just another grifter?
No, I don't think he's a grifter. I
Oh,
think he's.
you just
I
cut out
think
a
he's
little bit.
Oh, I apologize.
You're
No,
fine.
no, no, no. He is just another Amnat. Sorry.
Amnat, okay.
Yeah, which is fine, but yeah, he doesn't deserve to be banned regardless of whatever his beliefs. Anyway, obviously. So, and then it's just interesting as well. If you pull up that link number 8,
Alright.
got to get a mention of the ADL has pretty much removed all these channels now.
Oh, true, the good old-fashioned witch hunt style hit list.
Yep. Like True News, that's what Michael Jones, Brother Nathaniel, Nicholas J. Fuentes, America First. Like,
Alright, let's see who... E. Michael Jones. Also, like, I kind of lump him into the same category with Vince James, as I can't fucking stand to listen to him, ever. But he's just a harmless old dude. He doesn't need to get banned.
I think he's important to listen to, specifically on the Jewish question.
Yeah,
I mean...
mean...
on that.
He's old enough to have seen the reality of how things play out on a global scale, and especially with like the Middle East. I feel people of our generation don't necessarily understand just how it evolved, and without the time perspective on it, to be able to see different people come up and go down and see borders change and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and then other good ones like Red Eyes TV, V Dare in America.
True News. Disseminating Islamophobic and anti-LGBTQ messages. How dare they have a motherfucking opinion. Jews control the media, Synagogue of Satan. Beta! Isn't that something Jesse Lee coined?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He's a good man. Jesse Lee Peterson, very good man.
Have you forgiven your mother, Envy? That's something we haven't talked about yet.
I'm not sure I have. I've got to be honest.
That's some real shit, man. That's some real shit.
But
Me
it's
either, to be honest. But
let's not get too deep.
You just try to do it one day at a time, and just sometimes you just have to do nice things for the people in your life so you don't feel guilty. And it has nothing to do with them.
Very positive message. And,
I agree.
It's
a little mind trick. Oh, the ADL. E. Michael Jones.
Obviously, the one notable exception is Jean-Francois Garapé. So.
Oh yeah, where is he on this list? Let's just do a little Control F action. I want to see what they said about him. Jean François. Oh, he got the smallest little blurb.
Yep.
They didn't even give a shit enough to... Oh my goodness. The Public Space is a recurring podcast with Jean-François Garapé, a French-Canadian alt-right YouTuber. The Public Space with Jean-François YouTube channel has 47,000 subscribers and 4.2 million views. Man, I don't know. I haven't watched too much JF stuff. I know he's definitely cringe with the way he talks. I can't tell if he actually is a man whore or if he just is lying because he thinks that's what a good lifestyle would be. But who knows?
It was definitely some dodgy stuff because I remember going back to the Warski Live days and when it all got revealed. Well, we kind of knew. No, actually, no, because because it was at the Destiny. I think Destiny was saying he was proper going to JF. I can't remember if that was on Warski. But,
I'll be honest with you. I thought JF was pretty cool until I got into the habit of watching a bunch of Destiny debates. And one of them was where he went through the JF court documents with the Mama
That's
JF.
it. Yep.
And man, it's tough to say that a situation like that has so much context in it and so many different external factors that make things happen. It's obvious that neither of them is telling the truth, because whenever two people tell polar opposite stories, basically JF and then her family, whenever they tell polar opposite stories, you got to know one person's full of shit.
But the problem is,
Or I mean, both of them are probably full of shit. Sorry.
Yeah, but the problem is some shit in there. But the problem is with this is already the mental health of her and of the previous victim, which I'm led to believe she was a victim, because she was of such low IQ that she couldn't look after herself, never mind consent to marriage and having kids.
Well, let's just, in situations like that where it's kind of a gray area, you don't want to hold back people from living a fulfilling life involving sex if they have low IQ or, mental handicaps or something like that. But let's go ahead and default to the family's decision on that when it comes to a matter of court. And the creepiest thing about the whole situation was how fast he wanted everything to happen. He's moved her many states away and immediately wanted to have children. Just very Hannibal Lecter-esque.
Yeah, isolating.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You're exactly right with that. And whether he did it intentionally or not is beside the point.
Yeah.
Maybe he just got caught up in his feelings, so to speak.
Yeah, hopefully, because they have been together a while. Hopefully, looks.
So are they still together now? Or were
Yeah,
they
100%.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And obviously, you don't see what goes on off camera, though. So, but in front of the camera, they see.
That's what I was gonna say. Is she's had some
Weird,
epic meltdowns on live stream.
Oh yeah. I've seen Kraut videos taking the piss.
But who's to say that they weren't? That's just not either A, how she expresses herself, or B, it was just a tough time. Like everybody has tough times in their relationships where people just act a little wild. Call it wildcatting.
I think she probably does have some retardation, and maybe she doesn't, but she does obviously has some issue. But from the court document where it was described for the previous one, she definitely sounds. She was sub 70 IQ sort of stuff, like a child basically.
Yeah, I think in the court documents it said either 12 or 14-year-old girl.
Which is creepy.
The mentality of.
That's creepy. Do you know what
Dude, I just imagine them both on their stomachs in front of a firing place with coloring books, just having a good night.
So what do you think of Michael Jackson then, if you think that?
Little Play-Doh. I don't know about Michael Jackson. That's a tough one. Because on one hand, he's definitely a creepy dude. And I feel as though anybody in that amount of celebrity probably at some point comes across somebody good enough to get them to do something and then blackmail them. So, I was speaking to a guy I know, and he said that he was speaking to a client of his that was from California, and he worked in Hollywood, and he said it's not blatant like the pedophile stuff, but if you look for it, you can find it, and eventually someone will approach you and try and convince you. And he was just a low-level production guy, nothing crazy. So, man, it's tough to say.
I just call it Peter Wood by default now.
Yeah, Peter Wood. The thing about Michael Jackson though is very convenient how all of the cases where they didn't try to go after him criminally, or at least they didn't win, but they did win in civil lawsuits. So it was basically just a payday they just got paid off to shut the hell up about it.
Yeah, but I think
which to me, you would do even if you were not guilty at that point, you know? Even if you were not guilty, you'd just be like, let's just get this done and over with. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. But to me, like he did have them boys, and maybe he wasn't raping them, or maybe not sexual. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe they were just getting naked and being children, like in a very weird mental way. But that's still abuse. Still not normal. Still shouldn't, be around a child. So I would still classify that he was an abuser of children, but maybe he wasn't the typical rapist.
Speaking,
But
do you
as
want
an
to go into the Ghislaine Maxwell list?
one, well, yeah, might as well. Yeah,
Since
that
we're
was.
transitioning right into it, I'll go ahead and highlight that so we don't. I remember
Yeah,
that we did it already. I'm not going to read off the whole list, but let's just say there are tons of names and tons of crimes.
Yeah, and this, with everything going on, stuff like this gets buried, and I think it's just to highlight it, just how many names there actually are. I mean, I wouldn't actually count them.
Yeah, let me see.
And they're all part of like the political, makings of America. It's activists, it's Democratic and Republican. From all the way from chairmen or mayors, senators. Do you know what I mean? And it's with Epstein, and now more of this list coming out. I mean, it makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does.
We know what's going on. We're noticing the flow.
Golly, I can't find.
We shouldn't be noticing. They'll find us.
We gotta keep it on the down low. It's too early. It's too early. All right, hold on one sec. I'm fucking everything up here.
What? Bring it up. Bring it up on the screen.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I can't find it in the tabs.
It's number 18. Control click the thing.
Oh, it's Victor. Okay, is what it says. All right.
Aye.
Cause he reposted Subtle Bodhi. So I was looking for the wrong thing.
Yeah, it's just a list. I mean, it's not really that important. We know the sorts of people, township, Democratic.
No? Oh, I see what I did. Okay. We're learning. Okay, so this is basically just a Twitter mega thread posted on August 4th. Victor, who is at Subtle Bodhi, basically just goes up and down the line. People all over the country, people in all political positions, from assistants to fundraisers to, quote unquote social activists, mayors, governors, everything, all the different types, and some of them sound circumstantial, but I googled quite a few, and they're all extremely disgusting and unfortunately true. One that I did want to highlight briefly was, my goodness. So, Democratic Texas attorney and activist Mark Benavidez was charged with having sex with a minor, including a child under 18, to have sex, and compelling prostitution of at least 9 legal clients, and possessing child pornography. He was found guilty on 6 counts of sex trafficking. So this is just it says Democratic Texas attorney. So I guess he's just a lawyer who's pretty outspoken about his democratic beliefs. But the thing that we got to pay attention to when you hear this is Texas attorney and 6 counts of sex trafficking. So we discussed this briefly earlier, but my opinion on the reason that Democrats and liberals, the farthest of radical left, just want to open the borders up, is because they're involved in some weird Jeffrey Epstein style sex trafficking organization. And if we had completely secure borders that forced people to immigrate to the country the legal way, it would really cut in on their ability to do that. So there it is. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I would agree. And with a lot of things, I mean, I think the drug trade as well, it helps that because that to keep going on, and obviously just destabilizing the country. But
Anything to
sex trafficking,
cause division, and you can see it on Twitter. There people lose their ability to think critically when something involves an accusation or even just an appearance of pedophilia.
yeah. But we're going to keep hearing more. I'm sure something's else has got to happen because people, the answers are going to be asked. The questions are going to be asked. Sorry. So there's going to be a conclusion. We'll have to see where it goes. But I suppose, even though these are a lot of names, there's clearly just there's loads more. Because these people are supplying, a lot of these are sex trafficking themselves. So they're supplying to other people. So.
Yeah, and this is, these aren't. It's just it's different when you see all of the different crimes and all of the different convictions all put together in one place, because it's easy for you to not think about it if it doesn't happen in your town, or if you don't pay attention to the news in your local area. It's easy to forget that this shit is happening all the time, and these are elected officials typically. There's Congressman Dan Crane had sex with a female minor working as a congressional page. This poor girl just wanted to get into politics, and Dan Crane had to fuck it all up.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people are isolated in the UK because obviously that's even more isolated from America. And obviously they only get the narrative presented by the likes of the BBC. So, though to be fair, Prince Andrew did get a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
from
was
British
he
media.
on old Lil St. James?
Say that again?
Was he on old Lil St. James?
I don't know what that is.
little
St. James.
little St. James.
St. James Park.
Yeah, the Lolita Express Island.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Lil St. James, I'm pretty sure. I could be
Oh,
wrong.
right.
I hope I'm not defaming a whole shit ton of people.
I just called it the pedo. I don't know. I don't know what I called it, to be honest. Epstein's Island.
I think the only reason I know that is because Andy Worski did that flight simulator thing. Yeah, Lil St. James is a private island of the United States Virgin Islands off the coast of St. Thomas. The 78 acre island was owned by American convicted child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein from 98 until 2019. So if you don't know, now you know. There's Google reviews for Little St. James. Hold on, I gotta
Troll ones.
I gotta see
obviously.
what this is. They're all just stars. That's a little weird, actually.
Well, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Definitely not. He's either alive or he was killed, but I don't believe that he was able to kill himself. Or if he killed himself, they definitely just didn't discourage it. Like they probably tortured him to get him to break.
I think he's probably, back in his realm.
Back from whence he came.
He should never have left. Hey, ho. What can you...
Yeah, he came... He went all over the United States and broke his parole. I mean, it just goes to show you. Some people are protected, some people are not.
Well, you're definitely, if you're one of the protected class, like, one of the chosen ones.
It's hard to argue when, you just want to... You try and not think like that, but it's those precious metal names.
Yep.
Just ripping up and down. So, speaking of people really based on that topic, Rest in peace, Vincent James channel. All channels under different emails were banned, including one without content he made for his kids. That's messed up, man. His little kids didn't do anything. They love the Jews.
I don't even think he had posted any videos for it. He was just setting up for future use.
Yeah, the kid channel didn't have any content on it.
Yeah. So what's the reason for that? But yeah, it's not the first time. That's one of the reasons why I watched the kill stream for so long was because I followed. I remember coming to D Live the first time round and it basically didn't work, and it was just
Just very weird, and like, what the hell is this chest thing? And
just spamming the N word in the chat. Just it was a proper it was a cool time. Like maybe I got too involved in it, I don't know, but it was exciting. It was
there's such a cool like different culture of D Live. It's like they're not famous people. They probably don't even make that much money, but they are consistent. You see them every day, doing all kinds of things. There's a girl who to me looks like she's on heroin half the time, but she does crafts. She's killing it. There's that old dude, and he does something called like the realm, but every time I click on it, it's either just him sitting there staring off or him playing music or dancing. But they're there a lot.
I don't browse D Live.
Props to them.
I
most
use
of it's shit.
Yeah, I mean I use D Live quite often.
Well, you know what? Shout out to, let me see. One of the cool things about D Live, when you do browse it, the people are so small they'll immediately interact with you if you get in their chat.
Yeah, which is good because it kind of reminds me of the Stream.me era, and I've enjoyed.
Shout out to Commander7. He's pretty funny. He had like 4 viewers in his stream when I hopped in, and I still found it entertaining. He was just playing some PC game where you shift perspectives. Forget what it's called.
Yeah, when people throw, sometimes links get put in there. Jarpo chat, and I'll watch some guy playing Warzone for a bit.
Yeah, it's cool to watch people that are good.
I watch somebody. I
don't really like
Warzone.
the shitty people.
From time to time, he's pretty good, and he runs a Telegram channel. So, thousands of subscribers on it called Catholic Nazi, and he's
Nice.
a ball patrol guy. But when he does streams, he's consistent. I don't know if you don't know the ball patrol. Probably shouldn't go into it.
Oh, you broke up a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
You're
They're
good.
pretty hard. They're pretty hardcore, is all I'll say.
I got you.
And he's very consistent in his beliefs. But we'll watch him play Warzone and having a chat about 40k or whatever the fuck, it's a good laugh. And I respect people like that. Do you know what I mean? I might not necessarily agree with all of his opinions. He probably takes it too far. Like Ball Patrol. They idolize the shooter Dylan.
Oh yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Exactly.
I do hate it when people do that. You're not edgy.
It's
usually.
Too far.
Yeah.
But I've spoken to a lot of them in the chat, and to be honest, right, their strength of conviction, while you could try and say no, that's too far, the rest of their beliefs are kind of, it's all fucking fucked anyway. Even participating in politics is a waste of time. So prepare, build your community, and be ready.
So speaking of Call of Duty, oh yeah, definitely be ready. That's for sure.
Yeah,
stay strapped or get clapped.
Yeah, and just that is just sensible advice anyway. So I respect their strength of conviction.
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to believe that people's hearts are generally in a good place. That they have, even if they're doing something fucked up, it's because they think that it's the right thing to do. And I don't think there exists a person who's all bad. Maybe a few, but usually there's something.
And when I've had dealings with them, they've been reasonable. Yeah. So to me, if they were the worst people in the world, then you know, if they were acting like Spurgs all the time, but they don't. You can have a conversation with them, and they will tell you that you're wrong, and that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. It's I'm not sure I agree with you, but thanks for sharing your opinion. That little meme. That's a good 4chan meme. So, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War campaign has gender-neutral pronouns and character creation. How about
What the
that?
fuck? I haven't seen this.
Yep. If I decide I'm trans, do my penis and balls disappear? So, with gender options, you have male, female, and classified. The game will treat the classified option as gender-neutral and refer to you using they/them pronouns, which includes voice-to-dialogue from other characters. Well, shit. The poor voice actors had to stay like an extra 4 days to record the lines over and over again with him and her and then them and they.
Yeah, that's just weird. It's unnecessary and whatever. When they put the Black Lives Matter into the Warzone loading screen,
Well, what's funny about that is they put it on the loading screen with a character that was in blackface.
yes, yeah,
I was like, what are they? Are they serious?
Yeah.
But
I
they
actually
definitely
remember
did.
that.
And it was
Yeah.
legit blackface. I'm like, why couldn't they just had a black character? Or why couldn't they have just given her gloves?
I mean, not to get into Warzone too much, but I think when it first came out, it was slightly different. It was obviously a new engine, it was fun to play. Then people said they didn't like it. I like the sort of slower, more tactical way of it. And they sort of reversed back to how Call of Duty's always been. And Warzone has been really good and fun because you have your plates, so I think you survive longer, even though it's obviously still split second stuff. And, you know, I have about 20 odd wins, I think. So,
Oh yeah,
It's-
you play the Battle Royale version.
yeah, I don't play the multiplayer anymore because it's just referred back to the same old.
Yeah, and it's just like just a little dopamine hit. You just play it a little bit, get like.
Chaos.
I've gotten a lot better though, and I enjoy unlocking and customizing the weapons. I sound like a
But I'm-
fucking spokesperson right now, but it is my favorite part.
But I'm sick of it now. I mean, obviously with my icon. To new Battlefield, COD isn't really my thing, and I'm kind of sick of it. So I'll play Call of Duty Black Ops, Cold War, but it is going to be basically the same thing, I think, and then I need to stop playing it because I did Modern Warfare 1 to 3, and I did enjoy them. But when it got to Black Ops, I think I did Black Ops 1.
Dude.
I just
That's exactly what happened to me. The last Call of Duty that I played was Modern Warfare 3, the last one that I enjoyed, and then I haven't really played one that I liked since Warzone.
I mean, Black Ops 1 had like the zombie mode. which,
Oh
like,
yeah, that's really fun.
yeah.
So you're
But after
roboting
that-
a little bit and cutting in and out. I don't know if
Am I?
if that's that automatically determine voice input sensitivity or what have you.
I'm pretty sure. Did I can't remember if I had it on or off.
Yeah, if you
Let
want
me
to turn it
double-check.
all the way off, I think it'd be the audio is more important than the little Discord overlay.
Yeah.
Anyways, while he's fooling with that,
Hopefully that's better. I think
oh,
it's
much better. Holy shit. That's great.
nice. Cool.
Yeah, if I haven't been looking at the chat at all, but if we have bad audio, whip it in the chat.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, moving on. So, and one last thing I wanted to say about the Call of Duty thing. It seems like Call of Duty's biggest demographic would be like frat boys, frat men, or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not a natural Call of Duty.
Yeah, the hardcore
Right.
people that want to play it competitively, or you know.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I like the campaign. I mean, you know, it's fun Future War stuff, and it's it can be enjoyable to play through. But playing full price for it and then playing multiplayer all the time now, I get bored of it.
For sure, it gets repetitive like anything else. But Warzone definitely gave it a feel of Battlefield. They even have a variant in multiplayer that's kind of like that Battlefield mode where you go from area to area.
Yeah. What's it called now?
So
Ground War. Ground War. But sorry.
I want to give a shout out to D Live for being our main hosting platform. Feel free to check us out on dlive.tv/FlowEuphoria. And the YouTube link is long and weird. So I actually am going to throw up that Discord link if anybody wants to call in.
Okay.
That is up at the
Yeah.
top. Or I'll put it at the bottom.
Yeah, anybody can call in. We're just having a conversation at the end of the day, and if anybody wants to join in that conversation or really wants to say or doesn't agree, whatever, just, you know. Just
The
have a
only
conversation.
rule is don't talk to me about porn or masturbation. If you don't like it, I get it.
Right.
I tend to agree with you. I've heard it all before.
Well, you never know. You never know. Someone might have something that could change your mind.
Vince James or E. Michael Jones maybe could call in just strictly for clout. I want to make that clear. I shouldn't talk big shit like that.
Wow.
But oh well.
But maybe I can convince you in time anyway, because that's what I think.
No, I mean, my opinions are the same. Mostly, I just don't like the way they express them. That's what I think irritates me probably the most is practically I agree with everything. But I don't like the moral superiority that comes along with it most of the time.
Are you a religious man?
I would say I am. I don't worship a god that has a name, so to speak.
Right.
I think I might be echoing a little bit.
Are you?
Maybe. Yeah, I can hear you. Let me see what it looks like on the... That might be... I think that's actually Discord that's echoing for me.
I don't think.
I'm gonna check this. Check the stream real quick. I'm gonna mute you for 1 second.
Checking if I... Okay.
Okay, so I am confirmed echoing. I think it went away. I kind of adjusted my mic. Why did it start doing that all of a sudden? Real quick. I'm gonna mute you for 1 second.
I was checking to see if it was anything like I'd left something on or something, I don't know, but nothing.
That's alright, I'll just talk a little louder. It might be like the mic picking up my headphones.
Maybe.
Do you have me playing through speakers by any chance?
No.
Okay.
No, nothing's on.
I think it doesn't sound like that. I know what that sounds like. Okay, so you want to pick the next topic? I've been just kind of following a natural progression, but
Well, we've been talking about shooting in Warzone. Let's talk about
Shooting
real
in
life
real life.
Warzone. Yeah.
Are you tired of just sitting around and playing multiplayer Call of Duty? Well, get your head in the game and make your way to... Never mind. I won't even say it.
Well, you're the American, so what?
Make your way to an state safety approved shooting range and very carefully discharge your firearm in a safe direction at only paper targets.
Yes, of course.
That's it.
Only ever paper targets, of course. But as an American, what what do you think about it? What just let because lead us in because
About the boy?
I'm just a Brit. Yeah, I'm just a Brit.
Oh, dude, it's fucking disgusting. I I think that the gun laws are fucked in the U.S. in most places anyways, especially in the very liberal ones, but the whole thing was a shit show from the very beginning. I guarantee that the police were like, hey, if they want to go do that, that means we don't have to, but they shouldn't have let it escalate to that proportion. Now, I don't know how well equipped the Kenosha Police Department, I imagine they have a county sheriff type of thing as well, where they could get some support from them. I don't know how well they're funded or how well they're trained or anything. It's very realistic that they were probably spread out all across the city, but it sounded like there was a lot of collusion between the police officers and the militia that showed up.
Yeah, I did see some stuff on Twitter about that.
So, I mean, they were aware. They can't claim ignorance.
Because I also saw a video of Boogaloo Boys, or whatever they call themselves.
Boogaloo Boys.
But they said they were going to shoot at the police if they started shooting towards the protesters, which confused me.
I saw a lot of stuff online that was basically to the same effect of what you said. Somebody needs to start shooting back at the cops. Not necessarily from the Boog side. This would be more from the BLM side. So, actually, the setting that you changed, it's causing you to echo me in Discord for some reason. I can't seem to do anything.
Okay, does that sound any better?
Yeah,
any worse?
You still sound good, and I am no longer echoing. Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry, listeners, if you, because I know when I hear an echo, just like I did in real life just now, I don't like it. So, and I'm not a Sean level audio engineer that can fix that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's because we changed it, didn't we? And then, yeah.
Yep, I'm just glad I didn't record, another half hour to hour of echoey stuff, because the first part I feel like we've been doing good so far.
Yeah.
So Meme Lord, Daily Digger 19, and this was August 24th, so this was 3 days ago, right when this happened. I am going to show very sensitive content, so if you are squeamish, just kind of turn the phone away and maybe just listen to this part. So the first thing you can see, a burned out truck. This is actually Kyle. He's right here. This is only a 21-second clip. Let's see why he was in Kenosha.
We're protecting from the citizens, and I just got pepper sprayed by a person in the crowd.
So you had non-lethal, but you didn't respond.
We don't have non-lethal.
So you guys are full on ready to defend the property.
Yes, we are. Now, if I can ask, can you guys step back? Medical, EMS right here. I'm an EMT.
Is Kyle Ritter, is that what his name was?
Yeah, he seems to... No. Was it? No, I don't think it was.
I'm so sorry. I forgot to send you the link.
No, it's fine. No,
do you have that
I
thread pulled up? It's the link that you... let me see what number it is.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah, number 10.
Yeah, I think he was just there. I forget his name now.
Damn, dude. Let's go ahead and check out the old Ralph retort.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Kyle Ritter. Okay, because I know he posted his status. So now we've got Portland City Hall. I won't play the sound for this. They've got ACAB, broken glass, all kinds of just vandalism. I'm actually going to turn myself up a little bit because I want to talk louder, but...
Yeah, audio tech
Ooh.
issues. What can he do? We did try to sort all this out, but...
Hey, it still sounds, high quality sound, just trying to get all the ghosts in the machine, exercise them. So, let's just... Should we play the hood site video?
If you want to. I mean, that pretty much just lays out the day, and it puts all the videos together.
Yeah.
I think
So
it's interesting just to watch anyway.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is skip to. Let's see what we got here. Skip to. Oh, I'm spoiling it. Skip to 102. Just let me know when you're there.
Yep, I'm there. So
Okay.
just 3, 2, 1 me.
3, 2, 1, go.
Pop, pop.
So I know this guy in the black shirt here that's about to take his shirt off. Man, mine's buffering like crazy. He reacted quite quickly to the situation. Took his shirt off to use it as a compress. What the heck? Doesn't even let me turn down the. There's probably 1 billion people watching this video right now.
Yeah, it's working fine for me, but
The old CPU's under a heavy load.
you can see it's on the side because he's got where. Still buffering.
Get a light! Get me a fucking light!
Put pressure on it! Put fucking
Where?
pressure on it!
Where?
Let's see.
Where? Where's the hole?
Wait, where are you?
So
He's
he
right
had
here in his
he
head,
had a
in his
shirt,
head!
a burgundy colored shirt on.
Put pressure, put pressure, put
So it's hard to see where he actually got hit, but I believe this man unfortunately did die due to the injuries sustained. But, you know, don't charge a guy holding a rifle with a Molotov cocktail. You don't have to be American to know that.
Pretty obvious, really.
Oh, this video.
I kind of lost where we're not synced up now.
Probably not. I'm probably a few seconds behind you. Alright, let's pause and go to...
Leave that video.
Yeah, just leave it.
It's not working.
Okay. Let's see.
I've never been on that site before anyway, to be honest.
Oh,
But
wait,
that
you
guy-
mean to tell me that Hood site doesn't have super top quality hosting services for your uncensored videos? I would have
Yeah,
never
clear-
guessed.
Yeah, it's a surprise. Yeah.
World Star.
Star. I haven't seen a good World Star video in a long while, actually.
Grind Face is one that's similar
Okay.
on Instagram. That's more. It's
Oh,
people
not
say
Instagram.
Grind Face instead of. Well, they're on every platform actually. They're always shilling their Twitter.
okay, all right. Should have a look. But if you look at the next thing, which was, if we moved on from that video, we should go to number 13, which was Antifa Watch. And that guy that got shot in the head.
The gentleman we just saw. You literally cannot make this up. It appears the first person killed in self-defense by Kyle Rittenhouse was a pedophile. And hopefully, even though the video is pretty buffering, you could still see that this was him. Registered
look at the
sex
tweet.
offender.
Yeah, and the tweet below it actually kind of lays out the different.
There's his
guilty,
crimes.
guilty.
Assault on staff. So he was probably masturbating on people. Arson. Setting shit on fire. Assault on staff. Assault on staff throwing substances was definitely him, like filling up a cup with piss and waiting a few days and then throwing it at the staff. Yeah, assault on staff could just be them witnessing him masturbate. I don't know how Arizona does their shit.
So he's a filthy degenerate.
Yeah, I mean, so most of these were all in 2009. It was, well, apparently March was a bad month for him in 2009 because a lot of it happened in March, but it seemed like he couldn't hold it together for more than 2 months. Every 2 months, he just keep fucking up.
Now he's fucked up.
Yeah, well, in 2010, he seemed to clean it up for 3 years, but it's not surprising that somebody like this ended up getting themselves shot by a highly capable person that's trained with their
Was he?
firearm.
Was he though? 17-year-old lad? Was
Dude, he was John fucking Wick, man.
Okay.
He killed 2 and wounded 2. And
Right.
I'm pretty sure he only shot 6 or 7 times. Now, a magazine with an AR-15 typically has 30 rounds in it if it's fully loaded.
It was close range though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was close range, but what that also shows you is that he didn't go overkill. He didn't shoot someone and then shoot him 5 more times. He shot them, and then he wounded some people. So he didn't kill them, but he shot them once he realized that they were neutralized, that they weren't still a threat to his life. He stopped and then turned around, and what I believe happened is the first guy that got shot in the head was trying to assault him, and after he shot him, he just took off running towards the police to retreat, be like, I just shot this guy, to turn himself in, essentially. But then it almost looks like either he tripped or somebody tripped him, but he trips and falls to the ground. And then somebody hits him in the head with a skateboard, and that's when he only fires 4 to 5 total rounds in this second instance, but basically stops 3 or 4 threats on his life from coming at him.
Did look quite movie-like. I mean, as a Brit, we don't have gun battles on the street. So,
I mean, I don't know why not.
I mean, in London, maybe.
Just spice things up a little bit.
But I would say then that leads into number 14, where I just put this in last minute. It's just I don't know.
Titania, was it the CNN thing?
Yeah, and it's just the way it's embarrassing. It's it's obvious. We all know.
Oh, they're just super pandering. You got it pulled up?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Behind me is one of multiple locations that have been burning in Kenosha, Wisconsin over the course of the night. A second night since Jacob Blake was seen shot in the back 7 times by a police officer. And what you are seeing now, these images came and come in stark contrast to what we saw over the course of the daytime hours in Kenosha and into the early evening, which were largely peaceful demonstrations in the face of law enforcement. It wasn't
I don't know what the
until
fuck
night fell that things began to get a little bit more contentious. Things were thrown back and forth. Police started using some of those crowd dispersal tactics like tear
you make
gas,
a good
even
point.
Playing very loud sounds to push them out. And then what you are seeing, the common theme that ties all of this together, is an expression of anger and frustration over what people feel like has become an all too familiar story playing out in places from across the country, not just here in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Fiery, but mostly peaceful. I love that. That is fucking hilarious, dude. I am sick and tired of the peaceful protester bullshit. There's rioters, and nobody is peacefully protesting anymore. There were peaceful protesters at one time, but the peaceful protests, nobody hears about them because they're fucking peaceful. The news is only reporting, the riots, and they're just trying to spin it to make it
it's
look
misdirection.
Like
It's misdirection. And Titania McGrath, she's actually British. She's a British satire. It's not a real account. Done by a comedian called Andrew Lloyd, I think it's Andrew Doyle, Andrew Lloyd.
Cheryl Lloyd.
Thank you, CNN, for this impartial and cogent reportage. It is the mark of a healthy democracy that protesters are able to peacefully throw bricks at police and burn buildings in a peaceful way.
I mean, I even feel
that's
like
the ridiculousness of it.
There's violent, or I mean, if you don't want to peacefully protest, there's ways to do it that do not involve this sort of senseless loss of property, loss of life. If you want to protest something, you could go and get a bunch of TVs and just start smashing the shit out of them. I think somebody did do that one time, and they were protesting something, and it was pretty effective. I mean, not effective enough for me to know what the fuck he was protesting about, but, you know, the method.
Yeah, but they're just doing it for the sake of it.
No,
Now,
yeah,
I
they're
mean,
just fucking
well,
around, dude. The
Free stuff.
coronavirus. Well, there's that, because there's definitely people out there just looting, just trying to get a come up, an easy bunch of money, hit a lick, so to speak. But
I heard that one. Hit a lick. Hit a lick.
yeah, do you know what that is?
No, hit a lick.
Yeah, it means accumulate an amount of money very quickly, usually in an illegal way. So, like, we about to go hit some licks.
Right,
I don't know how it literally got to be that way, because hit a lick doesn't really translate over to that.
In Britain, if you give someone their licks, that means you're kicking the shit out of them.
I've heard that. Giving them their licks. I guess it's just kind of a facetious way, because a lick is like a gentle thing. But when you're getting licked, you're getting the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that's used regularly now, at all.
Do you want to discuss Jacob Blake a little bit?
Yeah, I suppose we can touch on it.
Just
That's
a little,
the guy that got shot on the back 7 times. It's just another example of somebody who had a warrant out for him. He raped a 15-year-old girl, and the police did, as it shows in the first tweet, which is number 15. WI authorities confirmed that Jacob Blake was armed with a knife and was the subject of the 911 call to Kenosha PD, and he was going for his gun in his car, and he was saying as much. So,
well, so 2 things about that. There was actually a video somebody was taking, and they were the girl that was taking the video could tell they're gonna shoot him. She goes, "They're gonna shoot him. He's got a knife. He needs to sit down." It's obvious to her, and it's obvious to me that he didn't give a shit. He was probably having a temper tantrum or something, but definitely scared to go back to jail because he's a fucking pedo. I don't know if it's like this in the UK. I think this is unfortunately probably a distinctly American activity, we'll say, but pedos do not have a good time in the correctional system.
yeah, American prisons are very. That's not really in the UK as such. Maybe in so the ultra high, the high security ones, probably not as much, but maybe the middle ones, maybe there is some shanking and stuff does go on, and obviously in the low ones, maybe every now and again, but not to the level.
So I watch a lot of prison YouTube channels, and usually what happens now, since everybody has a cell phone in prison, usually, even though it's not allowed, they can look up your name and see what you got charged with. So you can't even really go in there and lie if you did some sort of weird sex crime. And it's not just people that fuck with kids. Rapists get it like this. Snitches get it like this. People that tell on other people.
I think in the UK they do put pedos together, I think, kind of separate.
Yeah, separate them, keep them all together. That would make sense.
But, this guy, Jacob Blake, clearly he was a piece of shit. It looks bad just because the way it's shot, it looks like kind of movie-like. But at the end of the day, if he was going for his gun was, and
I think it was a knife in his car.
Knife.
Yeah.
Right.
But that being said, it could just as well have been a gun. If I'm a police officer and somebody... So, here's some trivia for you. In a lot of places in the U.S., it's legal to carry a gun with you everywhere you go as long as it's in your car. Some states have more rules than others. Some say you have to have... And this might even be old shit, but there was something where it was like 3 moves You had to, perform 3 actions before you could fire the gun.
Okay.
But a lot of times people can carry a gun in their car as long as they're over 21, not a felon, and followed the rules that are laid out. So, and then also, if you don't have a concealed permit, you're not allowed to have it on your person at all. So that's typically where people will leave things. Here's another pro tip for you. Well, I was gonna say if you buy a gun, but we'll just leave that at that. But
no chance.
If you ever come to America and decide to live here and buy guns, a lot of times guns come with stickers. Do not put those on your car, because if I'm a thief, I think, oh, this dude has a gun in there. That's an easy instant $100 if I wanted to sell it on the street.
Right.
Or a gun, just good to have. But if you're in America and you find yourself in the middle of a shooting, which, who can even say these days? But you're in a parking lot or something and you see a truck and it's just got all these gun stickers and protect the Second Amendment and, maybe even a couple Alex Jones stickers sprinkled in there. That guy definitely has some guns in his car.
Well, at the end of the day, this guy doesn't deserve the respect, the adulation. They're crying, saying that he didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing, and I just think it's disgusting that once again they're trying to Jesus, like George Floyd, and what really puts in perspective. You had that Cannon Hannon, that 5-year-old boy.
Yeah, it's fucked, dude. I mean, and I don't like to. I just don't like to realize it. I kind of enjoy my ignorance on certain things, but yeah, it's tough to be a white straight male. You can't really express yourself the way some other people can.
But you can see the brainwash because, GoFundMe, within 48 hours, Jacob Blake got $845,000, and in 2 weeks, Cannon got $818,000, and it just shows that the level.
I'm gonna mute myself. Keep going.
That the level, and you haven't muted yourself, Flo. He hasn't muted the stream. Well, I can't do anything about it. Cannot do anything about it. So yeah, at the end of the day, Jacob doesn't deserve this, and we know this anyway. And just to read off another thing, I can't put it on the screen, but I'll just read it. Meanwhile, it has been announced that Jacob Blake has been paralyzed as a result of being shot 7 times by the police. In addition to being unable to walk, doctors have speculated that his injuries will make it much harder for him to rape underage girls.
Excellent. Excellent. None of the kids have to be scared anymore.
By the way, you weren't muted, mate, so we did hear that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure these people aren't hogging up my Wi-Fi. I should have muted myself on Discord.
I was trying to speak over, I was trying to hide it.
Oh, you're a saint. Now, you're a saint, dude.
I don't know, I tried, but it's out there now. No.
Okay, but anyways. Let me check that out real quick, because that would be neat.
I'll just read it. Meanwhile, it has been
announced hopefully
that Jacob Blake has been paralyzed.
Broadcasted on.
Shot 7 times by the police.
Yeah,
that's it. Let's stop talking about that. It's depressing.
Good. It is. It's blackpilling and it's stupid, and people have talked about it already. People die all over the place. You could probably find tons of examples just like this, but the media decided to focus on this one because it's easy, gets them money, it's clickbaity, and then, it also happens to fit their narrative.
We know who controls all that.
Let's go ahead and skip man executes white family, shoots bystander over argument following fender bender. That sounds great.
That's just another example of just boom. Yeah, move.
So I got a little bit of a white pill for us. Sargon of Akkad, one of yours, one of your little fellow bongs.
Fellow Englishman, yep.
He has prevailed, and this is a nice. It's white pilling because of how positive it is, and because it's a great story of a white man triumphing over black, racially anonymous woman. Who knows what the hell she is. Defendant Carl Benjamin, also known as Sargon of Akkad, brings this motion for attorney's fees pursuant to 17 U.S.C., law, whatever, following the court's dismissal of the copyright infringement action brought by plaintiff Akilah Hughes. Is that the spelling bee girl? Did you ever hear that movie, Akilah and the Bee? Or see that movie? That's an old-ass movie.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Was there a time in the UK where it seemed like spelling bees were fucking everywhere?
Not off the top of my head, no. I mean, during
the
school and
US
that, you used to do that anyway, didn't you?
Yeah, the US is so weird. They do these like micro marketing campaigns where they'll fixate on something for. Sometimes it's only 3 months, sometimes it'll be 6 months, sometimes it'll be like a whole year. It can really be anything. So some examples, my US people know what I'm talking about. Avocados. For a while, it was avocados on everything. Like all the major restaurant chains had a new avocado recipe. Right. Another one was, let me think.
Another one was?
I'm trying to think. But one of them was spelling bees. There was all this media related to spelling bees, and there was this motion picture film called Akilah and the Bee, and it was just a story about a girl who won her spelling bee or whatever. But it was very weird. It was it's like that happens all the time in the U.S. They'll fixate on something, and then it'll be in restaurants and movies and TVs, and people will start wearing shirts, like avocado shirts and stuff. Very odd.
Well, the power of advertising, clearly.
Well, and then it would tie into, like, do you guys have Chipotle over there?
Yes. Yeah.
So the guacamole at Chipotle was getting popular at that time. So.
Right. I think you're going to get that. What do you mean, the actual, like, takeaway chain?
Yeah, Chipotle. It's a Mexican
food
kind of thing.
I think in the major cities.
I know y'all have a Five Guys up there somewhere.
Yeah, we have a Papa John's as well.
Papa. Do you like Papa John's?
I've never gone in there actually, to be honest.
Papa John's.
I mean, I will admit I have probably eaten more takeaways Corona started, but I'm generally not a takeaway guy. It's just been
that's good.
Sometimes during Corona, stuck at home all day was an excuse to just go outside.
I eat it too. Like I don't eat a lot of it, but I eat it often. Like I won't get a huge portion and then just eat it all, but I will go on a semi-regular basis, but just get a little something.
Some people live on Uber Eats, which I don't understand.
So expensive. And if you live in a place where it's spread out, it's probably even more so expensive.
That's definitely not common in the UK, that at all.
So, for the reasons set forth below, the court grants Benjamin's motion and concludes that he is entitled to $38,000, $911.89 in attorney's fees and costs. So, what I am wondering is what happens to his fat-ass legal defense fund?
Well,
because I guess the court would just write him a check for $38K, right? They're just assume that he already spent it on court costs.
Well, it's whether we actually even get it, because the court's not going to give him the check, is it? Her has to give it. So
it doesn't matter that it helps him. It matters that it hurts her.
I think for him, it's more just the victory, and because she was constantly, she was laughing about it. She was saying that she was gonna, bankrupt him and his kids and leave him with nothing. And she was proper vicious, and she got what she fucking deserved.
Yeah, this is exactly it. While Benjamin may not be out of pocket any money, awarding fees will still further the important goal of deterring Hughes and other would-be litigants from engaging in similarly abusive conduct in the future. An outcome that is tightly aligned with the Copyright Act's goal of facilitating the general public's access to creative works. Well, she should have fucking watched The Biggest Problem in the Universe and paid attention to shit like that and the whole lore. Not even the show, but the characters involved in the show.
Ah, the whole Maddox.
Yeah. I could have told you that. You're just gonna ruin all your relationships. You're gonna not end up being successful, and people are gonna think less of you for it. They consider her in what in the U.S. is called a vexatious litigant. So it's somebody that just wastes the court's time to try and impede other people's lives.
Yeah, we have the same here. Because I think it was filed in New York, wasn't it?
Yeah, it seemed like that.
I mean, Sargon. You know, I like to say the Mick Harvin, like, you know, Mr. Applebee's. One of the best videos I like is a heartworm video of Sargon of Applebee's, and it's like an ISIS sort of redone, but with like Sargon stuff. But
They do stuff with that with
well.
Frank Castle too. Sargon. What the fuck was I gonna say? Shit. Now I can't even remember.
Well, she deserved it anyway. So
Yeah, she did. She did.
Good.
And Gamergate 2.0. That was him, wasn't it?
It's a 3.0.
3.0. Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Tangentially related to President Donald Trump. I'm 3 times removed, or whatever the fuck he said, dude. That was some cringy shit.
Well, the thing is, UKIP was, you know, I voted UKIP.
Oh, the suit!
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Why would you brag about such an ill-fitting suit? Like, just don't brag or get a fucking suit that fits, man.
Well, he went to the European Parliament, and I think he rented it or something, maybe.
He must have, dude, because no way you spend money for a suit like that, and God knows he didn't get it tailored or anything, or even looked at by a clothing person.
And Jim was going at him well hard.
Fucking Count Dankula dressed up nice. He looked good. His suit fit properly, but he didn't brag about his suit. He just wore it and then let it speak for himself. Man,
Count Dankula is a good lad.
I love him. He's awesome. You know what they say? Sometimes the man wears the suit, and sometimes the suit wears the man.
When he did his debate with Vaush about whether he was a white supremacist or not, and obviously Dankula said he wasn't, but right at the very end, he did the 14 words and did a
oh yeah,
Roman
he didn't.
salute.
He didn't. Vaush also. No, I can't remember who it was, but somebody did a super chat, and they were like, "What do you think about National Socialism?" And he's like, "I think socialism's pretty good. It should probably be practiced all over the nation."
Yeah, well, he's was a Nazbol, and I think tanky. He's a tanky Nazbol, sort of maybe drifting or courting the Nazbol side of things, which, you know.
So explain to me what that is. You fucking political dudes in your little shorthand acronyms for shit.
So it's a combination. It's combination of Nazism and communism. So Nazbol, Nazis and Bolsheviks, and it's just it's sort of like an amalgamation of that. It's going full socialism on one side, but then at the same time, it has Nazi white supremacist ideology as well. It's like a more extreme version of the third position.
And that's, you said Vaush believes that, or Sargon?
Well, he's Vaush is the one that he's either a tanky communist or
right. I know he's red as my taint after a long day of slaving in the sun.
Yeah, he's not going to ever admit to being an Nazbol, because that would. But that's the same as
it would destroy his whole brand, so to speak.
But he would say the same thing about white nationalists and saying they're all white supremacists. So two can play that game. But when he's courting Nazbol people with what he says, and he has said some spicy things about like the Holocaust and the LGBT community and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
but I mean, anything you say about the Holocaust or the LGBTQ community is probably going to be considered spicy by some group of people.
But what he said, Nazis pretty much would have no. That's what's funny about it coming from a far lefty, which is why I say he's courting that Nazbol contingent, which is a very niche part. It's way up left in the political square.
Oh,
you've got your
shit.
communism,
Okay.
then right wing, then narco on the anarchy on the left, LGBT, right, and they're way up top left.
So, have you heard of Colt 45 and 2 Zigzags?
Nazi-like.
Oh, no. See, I was discussing this with someone the other day. When I say Colt 45 and 2 Zigzags, everybody's going to have a slightly different interpretation of what that is.
I mean, I don't really know what it is. That it's just you asked me, and off the top of my head, that's what's...
Exactly, because I'll tell you a story. So it's part of a song, and the guy goes, Colt 45 and 2 Zigzags, baby, that's all we need. Go to the park after dark and smoke that tumbleweed. So Colt 45 is a brand of malt liquor.
Well done.
Very common in gas stations and discount stores. They're typically called like 40 ounces because they're 40 ounces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna post something up for you momentarily, but
okay.
And zigzags is a colloquial term for like a joint.
Put it in Discord chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it there so you can pull it up, and then I'll pull it up for the stream. But this is a perfect representation. But when I first heard it, I thought he was talking about a Colt 45 gun that had zigzags engraved in it. Like it was a stylistic choice or something like that.
A Colt 45, isn't it?
Yes.
War. A Colt 45 and 2 zigs. Alright, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, actually, that's quite funny, though. Actually,
right?
Yeah.
Because everybody's but that helped me kind of conceive stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's why the left, while it does have the communists, it still has the zigzags because it's obviously authoritarian on that axis. So
yeah.
they do start to blend.
Cold 45. Oh man.
And then the libertarian one, and then the
I love the right
degenerate side is beer
and weed. See, normal sane people just smoke weed and then shoot guns. That's a normal thing to do.
I mean, I assume that Colt 45 is beer or alcohol.
Yeah, it's malt liquor, so it's the cheapest of alcohol. Like if you go into a place and you're like, I want the cheapest thing, both cheap in general but also cheap to buy, like it'll be the lowest priced item, it would be some kind of malt liquor. Have you heard of Four Loko?
No.
So Four Loko, man, Americans are so fucked. Four Loko
You have a lot of different stuff to us.
Yeah, Four Loko was a malt liquor beverage with caffeine in it. So you would get really drunk, and they were very inexpensive. But you'd get really drunk, and then the caffeine would jack your heart rate up, and I think people started dying. I don't know that I had a real deal Four Loko. The Four Lokos now are just malt liquor.
You have liquors like Dasani, I think. Tiramisu, I don't know. It's not something I generally drink, but yeah, we have our version. They're very European as well, so people in Europe would know, but not necessarily America. But if we get this trade deal after the EU, maybe I'll get to see a bit more stuff.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me, and people have even created subscription boxes for different stuff around the world that people are into.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Products.
Yeah. I used to watch. Total Biscuit when he live. And he used to do them when he had the cancer thing, and I always thought they were quite cool. Actually, I should have looked into. I never did. Some. I don't remember how much it cost.
It's
It was like
never
5,
worth
10
it.
quid.
Usually though. And you
Is it
can
not?
just buy the stuff on Amazon, find out what's in it, It's
Well, I did
also
that.
like a very cucked amount of food that they give you. Like it teases you. It's like you just get to try this a little bit.
It didn't really interest me that much, but whatever.
So you're clipping a little bit again. Is there any way to adjust that slightly, but not, turn it off all the way? I think
I'm
leave
not
it on,
sure.
but go all the way to the left, I think is the fix for that.
Okay. Right. I'm pretty sure that's what happened before, though.
Oh, really?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm echoing again, so never mind. You're good. You're not bad.
It might be because of my mic away. This is the problem with having this type of mic. Your type of
it's
mic.
very seldom though. It's not bad. It's just I know you're a perfectionist and you'd like it to be as good as
Yes,
it can be.
I need to keep the level of my voice consistent. That
Yeah,
would help a lot.
This fucking picture of Greta Thunberg. So I love prank calls, dude. Prank calls to me are so hilarious. And there was a guy named Longmont Potion Castle, and
Right.
he was a very active person. Let's see, I'm gonna use one of these old tabs. He did all kinds of prank calls, and when he first started doing it, he actually pressed them onto vinyl.
Okay.
And he inspired SPCC. Do you remember him?
Oh, I love SPCC. I wish
Isn't
he'd
he
stream some
the
more.
fucking best?
I used to listen to all his streams all the way through. I think it's funny as fuck. Spotties.
You've got a tank with a squid. I'm gonna whoop your ass. But anyways,
Two.
oh yeah, Longmont Potion Castle is the pseudonym of an anonymous surrealist prank caller active in Colorado and the Los Angeles areas since 1986. Details about his personal life are scarce, and his real name is unknown to the public. So he released something as recently as 2013. But he probably has 20 different volumes or something like that. Anyways,
Yeah.
some Russians. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'll always appreciate the prank call genre. In the UK, we used to have a TV series called Phone Jacker, and that used to do like prank calls and stuff like that. And I can't remember the other one. That was the one. I'm in the library. I don't know if you've ever. And he's on like a
He
massive
was shouting.
phone. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna look it up though, cause I love anything prank call.
Yeah, I forget. There was another one as well, but yeah, I've always appreciated that. It's just funny, isn't it?
Yeah. So do you know Howard Stern?
I do, and I have listened to some.
Was it
I
Howard
wouldn't say I'm an
Stern?
expert in any way, but
Let me Google this real quick.
I mean,
Yeah, it was Howard Stern. So I actually don't like listening to Howard Stern. I think he's kind of a jackass. But he did this thing called the Phony Phonathon, and it would be on Labor Day, and they would just make prank phone calls all day during Labor Day, or they would make some, but they'd also replay like some of the better ones from that year, and those are really good. Even though Howard Stern is kind of not that funny or interesting.
yeah, I mean, just the bits I've heard, I can't really remember. I did at one point look through it, but obviously didn't keep looking. So, I mean, talk show hosts are hard to obviously. Being British, we have our own, so I listen to my own, and I still do actually, because that's how you get a lot of British politics nowadays. So, and I just do obviously follow my politics.
Right.
as well as American stuff.
I should follow UK politics more. I know Ethan is real big into that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's cutthroat. It's still just as cutthroat. I think it's a bit more.
Oh, dude, great supine invertebrate jellies.
Oh, you're talking about them shouting.
Boris,
the
what's his
comment.
name? Isn't his name Boris?
Yes, Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson, dude. That was hilarious. I have no idea the context of the situation, but I really enjoyed that exchange.
Well, he's quite a orator anyway. He's highly educated, obviously, but he's not a real conservative. He's a liberal conservative, and yeah, he's not Trump. They call him like the British Trump, which is just because he's a bit funny. He's nothing like Trump.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people that claim to be one thing and are and part of it is like I think there's a slight separation between the US definition of liberal and the US definition of conservative. But like there was that guy that interviewed Ben Shapiro. Do you remember that?
Andrew Neil, yeah. He's a conservative. He got fired from the BBC actually, which is more bias of the BBC. But
yeah, so he was a conservative, but he was using typical U.S. liberal tactics, like digging up really old tweets and asking for context, kind of ambushing him.
Yeah, but that's how the British media. This is the thing with them. Americans have their style, we have our style, and part of our style is that you will get asked the high ground, and all he is doing is taking the opposite side. So even though he probably doesn't believe that, his job is to pressure and question him. And at the end of the day, he can get all up in arms about it, or he can just answer the question. And that's why the British media has, and that's why Ralph likes it. Because it has that style about it where, no, answer the question.
Damn, dude, I never thought of it like that before, and that kind of just changed my whole opinion on the matter. Because I thought he was 100% justified in getting up and walking out. I would be like, fuck this. I'm not taking this bullshit. But at the same time, you're right, yeah. It would have been classier if he just, like, addressed it and moved on.
If you go to the YouTube and look for Andrew Neil or Jeremy Paxman, especially going back, we have a long history of keep pressing and pressing until you breaking them psychologically. So yeah.
I guess Ben Shapiro was unprepared for that sort of thing. Didn't really know how it went.
Well, he felt stupid when he realised that he was an actually well-respected conservative.
He should have left. If he would have left that part out, he would have been a lot better. I just threw something in the Discord.
Okay.
You don't have to play it. You probably already know what it is, but I'm going to play that.
Okay.
16. Can I see those
Tell
again?
me,
so
I'm on it. So
right.
3, 2, 1. Oh no! Wait a second. Something's popping up.
Yeah, it's a Facebook bullshit. So I'll let you get those sorted. So who's the black woman that's talking at the beginning of this video? If you want to play it, let it play a second or something, you can.
I don't
16.
recognise her. She is part of that looks like the mayoral assembly in London.
Okay, so was this a city meeting or like a city affair?
Yeah, this is London. Yeah, this is when. Yeah, I've just skipped forward in the video. I see Boris. Yeah, this was when Boris was London mayor.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, I'm at. It says -39 on the right side. I'm not sure what it's probably 1 or 2 seconds.
Yep, I'm ready when you are.
3, 2, 1, go.
Can I see those against? 8. So that means then that we then thank the mayor.
That we then
because the assembly members have decided.
I love
they
his
have
face,
no
dude.
What, to
questions
scrutinise?
to
Are you saying they're abdicating their duty
Thank
to scrutinise
you.
me? Are you saying they haven't the guts to put questions to me?
What
Great
is it,
supine protoplasmic invertebrate jellies.
Oh, it does the bug life thing at the end.
Yeah.
So
that was when Boris Johnson was at his political height. He was basically untouchable. He was actually making
I guess that makes sense as to what you were saying before. He's like, you guys aren't even going to ask me some tough questions, you know? Like, you're not going to dig up some dirt on me. You don't even respect me that much.
It's because they were legit scared because they knew he would because he was winning. He was winning one of the few
Just destroy them with facts and logic.
Well, yeah, kinda.
But that was right when I first saw that video. That was slightly before, I think, that the whole Ben Shapiro thing with the video titles, like Ben Shapiro eviscerates stupid liberals.
Yeah, I admit to watching it at the time and being amused. Now I look back at it and go, what a waste of time all that was.
Oh, it really, because the arguing style is very disingenuous, and it's irritating to listen to, but
when he dismissed Fuentes, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Fuentes, but when he dismissed Fuentes, he's okay to shit on, like, mentally people, leftists, college leftists. You know, that's easy for him, but the hard...
Dude, he's making tons of money, bro. He's not going to jeopardize that.
Exactly.
He's not going to go the Nick Fuentes route, even though Nick's doing very well, at least in my opinion. Yeah. So, we were talking about prank calls. Do you want to just open that Sun link? It is...
Yes, I've got it.
Yeah. Okay, if you got it, I've got it. It's 3 minutes, 38 seconds. I'm at zeros.
Play, because it's buffering.
Yeah, let me know when you've got it on the pause portion.
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I have you here with Senator Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Hi. Hi, Kamala.
You haven't heard this before, right?
Hello, Greta.
No.
Congratulations on all of your leadership. I'm so inspired by your courage and your voice.
It would be cool to support you in your campaign. Or what is the best way to do it?
The best way to do it would be to talk about my climate plan. You know what I can do is I can
Russian
ask
mail, apparently.
my policy team to follow up with you with more detail on.
So can we just pause it real quick? One thing I wanted to... I'm paused at 35. One thing I wanted to point out is Greta Thunberg... I don't know shit about her. I know basically what happened when she kind of ascended to meme status. But how the fuck does Kamala Harris not know the best way to use Greta Thunberg for her own fucking campaign? She has to be like, oh, well, I'll talk to my campaign advertisers. Like, I can understand that she's not going to know exactly specifically what to do right then, but she could have at least humored her and brainstormed a little bit. You can just tell that she's just a robot. She's controlled by leftists. She's controlled by Black Lives Matter donations. She's beholden to them. You know, why else would they nominate a police officer? All the Black Lives Matter stuff going on, and they nominate a cop that I've heard, I haven't researched this, but apparently she was very hard on minorities as well.
Yeah, I heard that as well. Very harsh, and especially on marijuana.
Yeah, which, you know, it could be argued that the strictness in which they're enforced, the laws regarding marijuana, especially small amounts, could be targeted to make it easier to arrest minorities. In practice, that doesn't really happen, but it makes it easier to want to, you know, try and search someone's car or something. Say, oh, I smell weed.
But it's probably true in a lot of cases.
That just further escalates stuff. One thing I wanted to comment about the guy...
You shouldn't be driving around smoking weed anyway.
Well, that's true. That's... Even if, you know, just not necessarily because I think you get too impaired when you're stoned, but it's just a smart thing to do. Like, don't, you know... Cars are really fast death machines. So...
Exactly.
And then the whole legality thing, it's like, why do you need it in your car? You typically shouldn't, but anyway.
In a split second, somebody could die. So.
Oh yeah, dude. It's you know, where I live, there's a pretty big scene of fast cars, and people are extremely reckless, and you combine that with some of the other demographics in my area, and it's not good. Anyways, at 35 seconds, we'll keep going in 3, 2, 1.
What exactly would be helpful and what is something that you would like to do. And then we can talk about more detail about how that can work. And that would be very helpful, and I thank you for that.
And by the way, we wrote to many politicians, but not many people respond. How sad it is.
And don't be upset. Recently, even President Putin said about you.
It wasn't what I wanted.
Well, it just highlights the need that we have to be active, and that there are forces working against our movement, and we have to fight for these things. And so this is that moment, and you have been a great warrior in this cause.
Also terrified of what Trump is doing. I even can't sleep or eat when I see him on TV. That terrible meeting in the UN building in September, I had nightmares. I saw him in the corridor. I shouted to him to sign the Paris Climate Agreement. He came over. He said softly to me, "You will never achieve the goal." So
no, but Greta, do not
be
deterred.
He continued.
Do not be deterred. You have the ability to see what is possible in a way that many do not. And there will be people who are going to work against progress. That is always the case. Always in history, there have been people who work against progress. Listen, nothing that has been achieved in this world that has been about progress came without a fight.
Meaningless rhetoric.
This is the nature of it.
But it's very sick to behave like that. I mean, President Trump.
All just NPC talk.
Yeah.
I was muted.
It's so
for the stream.
And it is similar to previous times in history when some people could not imagine how things can be different, and then leaders did imagine and could see it and led. And so you have been a great leader. Do not be deterred.
So Greta has a recorder and always is here, and when it happened,
it's in my pocket. Oh yes.
And it was in Greta's recorder now, and so if you would like to get it, we can provide it.
Maybe this recorder.
Do you want to get it?
You. In my side,
Thank you.
I can testify against this terrible man.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you
so much.
I'm sorry I have to hang up now, but Josh will follow up with you, and we will stay in touch and work together. And I look forward to working with you.
We are in Canada now, but we will be in the US soon.
Oh, good. Then we should make a plan then. I would like that.
Yes, I hope that you will not arrest us like like some people do.
I look forward to seeing you. Be well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I had you muted until just then. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, they're creepy, probably, and, I believe it,
It just goes to show you how clueless American politicians probably are about things, about technology, about the fact that they couldn't just verify that they were just random people. I mean, I'll give them. It kind of sounded like Greta Thunberg, but I don't know what her dad sounds like. I think a little bit, not a lot though. That should have been the first thing to think. Oh, hey, maybe let's double check this. But they're so quick to be like, we got Trump, we're winning this election.
I don't think she was really listening. I think she just got a one-track brain. She's got all her talking points directed from her masters, and she's going to do whatever it takes, and she might even off Biden a bit early, maybe slip in a pill. Maybe she won't need to anyway, because she wants to be president.
Yeah, for sure. It would not surprise me if that's their whole goal, and I don't know though. I feel like it could almost be possible that they want us to think Joe Biden is incapable, that he's doesn't have all of his cognitive. It may just be, I don't know to what end, but it seems fabricated a little bit to me. They don't try and hide it at all. They don't ever have any sort of damage control, and that may be their ineptitude, but he'll be walking out of a talking or something, and he'll start getting distracted by reporters, and then what appears to be a nurse will be with him and be like, "Come on, Joe, we gotta go."
I wonder. I don't know what's going to happen. It's hard to tell, isn't it? I mean, there's such a laughing joke of the Democrats and Biden, and it's just how many people. But then people will say, "What has Trump done?" This is Trump's. They're saying the riots going on is Biden's America. Well, it's not. It's Trump's America as well. So
yeah, he's just monitoring the situation. That takes a lot of effort, and that can't be discounted.
Yeah, that's why you can't rely on either. But I have a feeling
the
probably Trump might win again. Exactly. But yeah, I think he might edge it, possibly. If I had to put money on it.
If I had to put money on it, I'd think it'd be Donald Trump, because I believe that most people that are just reasonable would vote for him over Biden. I feel like the left wants you to think that they have a lot more voting power than they actually do. Again, to what end, I'm not sure, but it just seems like the silent majority, so to speak, prefers Trump, and anybody that has a business, probably anybody that has received some of the benefits of the economy that he was able to foster. So,
politics is fake and gay. Sorry, just let's get that.
It is to me, anyways, and that's all that matters. So, I would like to thank you for going ahead and clipping this for me. I don't know if you give a shit about your YouTube channel, but this is on YouTube, of Envy's YouTube.
It's just whatever.
Did a little call-in action myself. So if you have that link pulled up, just let me know when you're ready. I'll give a little bit of background. This is Chrissy Mayer, and this is the Kill Stream. If you don't know, you should know, because the Kill Stream is a pretty good show. Chrissy Mayer, unfortunately for her, she appeared on the same show that Vince James was going to be on while he got banned, so there were a lot of people that were fans of Vince coming there to see him because he had just gotten banned off of YouTube, like we discussed earlier. And Vince James is a very conservative, very wholesome kind of family values guy, and Chrissy Mayer, at least her comedy, is not. I'm pretty sure that Chrissy Mayer has been monogamous with her partner for either 5 or 7 years. I can't remember which one she said, but she talks about that in the Kill Stream, that she's just making jokes. But anyway, she got lambasted, but I always think she's a pretty decent guest.
She's a big girl. She can handle it. I'm
Yeah.
sure she's had it before. Heckling from the crowd. She's doing it online. It's the same as in a comedy show. And yeah, maybe it's a bit more harsher, but she's all right. She's, if you take what she says as a joke, and it clearly is a joke, then whatever. It's comedy.
Yep, and I gotta, if I do say so myself, what we're about to play is pretty fucking hilarious. So we're gonna play the whole 4-minute clip. I got a timestamp, but honestly, I don't give a shit. So just let me know when you're ready. And
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, go ahead. Are you there? Oh man.
Sorry, I had push to talk on for some dumb fuck reason.
That's all good. I thought it might be something like that. Go ahead.
Frankly, I am aghast that Butters thinks lifestyle habits that are typically associated with cocaine are associated
going
with
to your
weed
drug
use.
dealer at 2 a.m. in the morning
Yeah,
to
like
buy
2 a.m.
weed.
Not regular
Yeah, right.
Butters.
That was Dark Butters.
DB, my bad.
Regular Butters snorts like, 2 8-balls a day, probably.
It sounds like he needs to. He's been in a rut
been a
lately.
bit depressing lately, to be fair.
All right, what else?
His call-in last night was
Chrissy, what would you say to
I haven't watched last night's yet.
How would you reconcile differing
a little
political
tune.
beliefs between two people? They're in a romantic
situation. Well, shit. That's the thing, is like, how long have you been with this person? or
let's say it's like, because this is more of a hypothetical thing. But let's say
okay.
it's 6 months, so it's like committed, but not like so committed that it couldn't,
God, I mean, like, I've seen differences in politics break couples up, even that were like engaged or married. It really depends, like, kind of like everything else, how you deal with every other conflict in your relationship. It's like whatever you can do to get yourself to a place of agree to disagree. But once you start like getting personal at each other and at each other's throats, and like, if that becomes like the fight you always have, then fuck, like, what are you gonna do? I would just be like, it's hard. It's so hard to bite your tongue, especially because like the liberals are fucking morons right now, and so it's tricky. So I would just say, like, like, if it's a subject you always fight on, be like, like, try not to talk about it, or try just to, like, make out every time you talk about politics or start blowing each other. I don't know. It's really easy.
That's good advice.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I
Just
don't know.
some positive mental association. I literally just made that question up, so I apologize. I didn't put a lot of thought
It's okay.
into it.
You can make up a question.
Yeah, what's wrong with making up a question, Flo?
What's your favorite sex position?
Ooh, in the oven. I like
quality.
Shit. Check
for
her early
me.
plug.
I like getting plowed. I think, but I'm more likely to come if I'm on top and I'm like running the show and I'm in charge of the factory all by myself.
So doing all the work. Gotcha.
What about
yeah. I'm just like, lay there, don't fuck this up.
I love Bibble. He's probably my
I like
favorite
being on
co-host.
top.
Let's say hypothetically, you were riding someone.
He already knows, bro.
Would you like their thumb in your ass a little bit?
There it is.
That would be a huge distraction. That would be a huge distraction, especially if the Mexican had been consumed at any point during the day. To me, anything in my butthole is going to distract
Look
away from like my having an orgasm.
She starts to bring it back around
who really
for him.
loves to put stuff in my ass. Okay,
Hey.
then that would be something for him and not for me.
Hey, what can
get
you
that
do?
time back another way.
I thought she would say more. I thought she would say.
Now, what if they had a perfect
Yeah, I think
asshole?
generally it's like the smell that
I should have
usually
said
does
sniff.
it when there's thumbs in
Oh,
assholes.
that would that would have
Yeah,
been
that's why
perfect.
you gotta hose it
yeah.
down back there. You gotta clean it out. You gotta scrub it up.
Flo,
make it
thank you.
Do you
I'm
think
glad
it's-
you got in.
do you
I'm
think
glad
it's
you got in.
unreasonable
Yeah,
to,
last
ask your
question.
This was a
partner
good
to
follow-up as well.
bleach their asshole?
Yeah, because I feel like
Bleach
it
their asshole?
turned some of the
Is
heat
it
down.
unreasonable?
Yeah, is that too much?
Are you going to pay for said bleaching? Are you going to take her to the bleachers? I've actually never
Is
done
this
it.
like a situation where you could go Dutch, maybe like a 50-50?
Yeah, maybe you pour the bleach in a little bucket and you just hold her, you sit
Bibble's
her in
loving
it.
it right now.
Like, if you do
Oh, I
the
didn't
work,
realize
Thank you, Flo. Appreciate
I
you
imagine that's how
coming
you
in.
do
Yeah,
it.
that was good, mate. That was a good call. Well done.
Yeah, dude. So do you know what I appreciate you clipping that, man. I'm glad you got to catch that live, because I was gonna hop on Twitter and be like, hey, listen to this call in. I can't believe this shit just happened. And you had already messaged me, and I was like, fuck yes.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna watch either, but I just happened to be awake far too late as usual.
Oh yeah. That's more so for you probably than me, but I still stay up too late. Do you know what Bibble was talking about when he said lie their asshole, like LYE?
No, I hadn't actually heard of that.
That is a deep fucking cut. Like, I don't know what the hell he was talking about. I haven't really Googled it, but I imagine Googling lie and assholes is not gonna turn up what I'm looking for.
I assume it's just something old-fashioned. That's what I thought he was referencing.
All right, let's do some Ben Wapiro.
Ah, yes, the last two. You gotta play the other one afterwards because.
Is this the one with the deep fake, or is this the one where they take the words that he says?
I can't remember.
Okay, we'll find out pretty soon here.
But the link after.
Floors in this house. There's some floors in this house.
Oh wow. Yeah, so this is the one where they oh yeah, the king. Well, yeah, I like that one. We're gonna play that too. So this This is just a great thing, and I'm really happy that this happened. So just let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. I said certified freak. 7 days a week. Wet ass P word. Make that pull-out game weak. Yeah, you effin' with some wet ass P word. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P word. Give me everything you've got for this wet ass P word. Beat it up, N word, catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this P word right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top, I wanna ride. I do a kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. This P word is wet, come take a dive. And continue along these lines. And it gets significantly more vulgar. Like, a lot more
A lot more vulgar, MB. Tons more vulgar. Oh, God. The way that they edited the audio to that, when the beat does, like, a double time or whatever, and he also starts rapping, like, in double time, I'm like, that's just so perfect.
Yeah, it was. It's well made. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I just love people that do stuff like that, where they put in enough effort to where it just makes it's like the internet X Factor. It's got that special sauce.
Internet autism.
There you go. Concentrated autism. That's what it is. You get that essence without even having to be around it for that long. The like to dislike, 104K likes to 1.1K dislikes. That's hilarious. And it's also hilarious that Ben Shapiro, like, unwittingly made that song go more viral.
How did he make the song go more viral?
So, did you watch the video that they made this video off of?
No.
He read the... Do you know what WAP is, by the way?
Yeah, I know the song.
Yeah. So he read the lyrics to the song, and that's why he's saying P word. And he's trying to censor himself as he's reading it. And he's like, this is what feminism gets you. This is what the goal of feminism was. And he's talking about, like, he's like, I consulted my wife, who's a doctor, and she said that they should look into the effects and symptoms of vaginosis or something like that.
I mean, I don't like the guy. After that, I don't watch anything like he does.
Me either, and I think he played himself. He's like, my wife's pussy never gets that wet, or he said something to that effect, and it's like, it's probably because of your weird little schmeckle.
Did he actually say that? That's just
I believe he did, bro. He didn't say it probably explicitly in those terms, but I saw enough comments, and I feel like I heard the clip, but I don't remember specifically.
I can imagine. Well, I don't want to imagine, actually.
Extra large and extra hard.
But yeah, you should play the other video.
Oh, yes. I will play that one, because I also enjoyed this. This guy is freaking ripped, too.
He's based.
Based, ripped, family, nice house. He's living the fucking dream. All right, let me know when you're ready, sir.
Ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Stop! Gina, no!
Gina, no! Oh, Lord, American daughters.
Good father.
Yeah, looking out for his kid.
Yeah, well, the kids think it's funny.
Dana White? Who is Dana White? Like the UFC guy? Oh, shit, did you hear that?
Yeah, why?
It was thunder.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, like a boom.
Were you anywhere near that hurricane stuff then?
No, thankfully.
Because that was going... People were saying category 5, but that's like.
Yeah, they say that shit every time though, dude. They're always like, it's gonna be the storm of the century, and the news spends tons of time hyping it up. It's because they want people to go out and buy storm supplies, like on the off chance that it is a life-ending like type of event. They want people to be at least semi-prepared. So if they scare enough people to go buy some bottled water, then job's done for them.
But I mean, 2020. I mean, would it be so shocking if just like category 5 hurricane?
No, it wouldn't. It really fucking wouldn't, unfortunately.
Aliens next.
I was talking to a guy that he thinks that our government or the world government or what have you is going to pretend that aliens exist and make us.
Yeah, it's Operation Blue Light, I think it's called.
Yeah, and it starts with that Reagan or that Nixon thing where he's like, what if there was a force that could unify the whole world? There'd be no more wars. From outer space, perhaps. Yeah, some shit like that.
Especially with Space Command and these UFO leaks and saying that they've got vehicles that are not of Earth origin.
Do you watch Joe Rogan at all?
The odd bit, but
yeah, me too.
Not
just when it's somebody that I'm into. But he had that UFO guy that was
Bob
Lazar. Yeah. I want to watch. Didn't JCS do a video where they analyzed his body language to see if he was lying or not?
I don't think so. Not JCS.
It was somebody that analyzed it. So the RNC is going on right now, and there are 7.7K viewers on the C-SPAN stream, 1K on the Reuters stream, 200 on the Politico stream, 260 on CBS. I just want to point out, those are like double and triple the numbers of the DNC.
Well,
so, if that's any...
I mean, that's not very many though, really.
No, dude, there's 10K viewers on C-SPAN now. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people are watching it on TV, but if the stream views are any indication of where the voters are, I think probably... And they're in the South Lawn, right? South Lawn of the White House doing this?
But, like, it just shows that, you know, the internet use, you know, the demographic, you know, people like us, we don't really care. We know it's trash, and they've been pushing for things, talking about diversity and justice for black people, criminal reform. You know, it's just, that's not conservative.
No, it isn't, and it's just watered down to be more acceptable to society. So the C-SPAN viewers is fluctuating between 8,000 and 10,000, and I wonder if there's like 2,000 bots or something like that.
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me at this point. I mean, maybe it's Russian interference, mate.
Yeah, Iranian super hackers.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know who Dana White is, in regards to the RNC, but Dana White's the commissioner of the UFC, the fighting thing.
Yes.
Is he?
I do recognize
is
that
he
name.
a Republican? Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was him. That's pretty cool. Dana White's a popular guy. He's a cool guy, pretty swell guy.
There are some people who do openly support, but it's just obviously not as many. I'm trying to actually think of any right now. Kanye, obviously.
Yeah, Kanye is, I like him. I think he should have done it a little more seriously, and I don't think he would have ever won, but I think people would have taken him more seriously, and they wouldn't have tried to destroy his credibility like they did.
But is he not strange, and does he not just suffer from mental illness? So
he's a fucking cunt. I mean, there's that. he's always been kind of an asshole, but his mom died a couple years ago, and I think that really affected him. Might have pushed him off the deep end. But dude, it looked, by all accounts, I think he's in the Illuminati or whatever their name is. And
New World Order.
Yeah, he's probably trying to tell us something, just like Stanley Kubrick did with some of his films. There's a bunch of clues, for lack of a better word, to trying to tell people that there's all this pedophilia going on in Hollywood in a lot of his movies, and you don't really, notice it until after the fact.
I've heard him like the director, and I've heard that before. I don't really know much about it though.
I'd like to get into it. Do you know much about occult stuff?
Not really. I have watched stuff. It would really depend what it was.
Are you familiar with Aleister Crowley?
No, not off the top of my head.
So he's a British dude, I believe. I'm gonna confirm that real quick, but he's like a famous occultist, and he supposedly did like hundreds of sacrifices and all this shit. Yeah, English occultist, magician, poet, painter, novelist, mountaineer. Anyways, I've been wondering if he was that, actually did do all of those sacrifices and stuff like that, because he's had a big impact on society since then. The Beatles put them on the cover of Lonely Hearts Club Band. He just a lot of different stuff, and he wrote some books, but he I wonder if all of this shit was just a big troll, because he's revered as like one of the worst people in the history of all mankind, like that sort of thing. His nickname was the Great Beast.
Maybe I'm showing my ignorance, but I don't recognize the story. I'm kind of skimming through. There's a lot to it. Apparently, it did spread all around the world, especially North America and Australia.
Yeah, people were quite. So he wrote a bunch of books and stuff, but yeah, if you ever see magic spelled with a K, a lot of that has to do with Aleister Crowley.
Oh, right, yes, yeah.
I think he kind of popularized that, and it's all based off of the Jays, Kabbalistic kind of Jewish mysticism.
Yeah, so influenced by Hindu, Buddhism, and other Western esotericism, like astrology, Kabbalah, tarot.
Yeah, Kabbalism is the Jewish one. Have you ever seen a film called Esoteric Agenda?
No.
We're gonna watch that and react to it when we get the audio a little bit more leveled out. That will blow your mind, dude. Have you ever heard the expression "eat the meat and spit out the bones"?
No.
So it basically just means you take the good part of something and ignore the bad part of something. So you kind of have to do it with personalities on YouTube and stuff like that. But anyways, with Esoteric Agenda, there's a lot of bullshit in it, but there are some really good points. So you just eat the meat and spit out the bones. But it's a documentary similar to like Loose Change, but more about religion and things of that nature.
I do start to tune out when it's things like chakras and energy, whatever.
Yeah, Esoteric Agenda comes from a natural kind of worship of nature bias. You can tell.
Sounds like paganism.
Paganism, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. It has like a very pagan bias on it, so that's the bones that you kind of have to spit out, because they bash Christians pretty hard. They basically, or the guy, the narrator, he kind of uses some stupid numerology and some stupid leaps of logic to try and explain away Christianity and stuff like that. Christ in specific, but it's only a small portion, and then the rest, it talks a lot about people existing on a frequency and the way that people can be manipulated and controlled on a societal level, and how they've been doing it since the beginning of time, just various stuff like that. How a lot of religions got formed. It's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Just unfortunately, yeah, I've never really. I mean, I'm trying to even think of. I've watched random stuff on YouTube before. That's the thing, when it starts getting to supernatural, have you ever had a supernatural experience?
Dude, such a great question. Okay, so one time in that house I was discussing with you last night, I went outside to smoke a cigarette, and I noticed that the room was so dark when I walked inside to cross out to the porch that I had to really look closely to not, step on anything that was on the room. And so I open the door, I go outside, I smoke my cigarette, I turn around and it's locked. I'm like, that's fucking weird. I don't know why I would have locked myself out right on the porch. So I hop the little fence and go around through the other side, and I go into the room. And when I go into the room, all of a sudden there's Christmas lights on that she had just around her mirror and stuff. So there's Christmas lights on, and I'm like, that's fucking odd, because I distinctly remember it being dark in here. And I go over to the door, and the door's unlocked, dude. And so I called the girl, and I was like, hey, do you usually unplug these Christmas lights when you leave? And she's like, yeah, I always unplug them every morning. And I'm like, that is so... It's not so much the fact of what happened, just that a door locked and unlocked and then lights kind of randomly turned on. I got the weirdest fucking feeling I've ever had in my life, that it was just something else. And it was specific enough that I can remember, no, I did not lock the door. I didn't turn on those lights. The lights would have to be plugged in, and there's no switch. They're either on or they're off.
Right.
So that's probably the closest. But what about you?
No,
Nothing at all.
That's why. No, I think that's why I'm so skeptical of it, because I honestly can't. There hasn't been anything strange, ghost-like, moving objects. I don't know, all the.
Now, I will say there was a building that I was doing work on, and it was a very, very old building, and it was supposedly haunted. Everybody that worked in the commercial part of the building said it was haunted. The residential part of the building said it was haunted. People were always talking about sounds and stuff. So they had some ghost hunters come, and they spent all night yelling at the air and setting up lasers and doing stuff, and we didn't find shit. So a little bit later, that same building, there was a lapse in the security system. So guess who had to stay in the building all night by himself to make sure nobody broke in and stole all the TVs and shit?
Fun.
Fucking this guy. And it didn't really, I didn't see any ghosts either time or hear anything or sense anything weird. I didn't even sense anything weird the whole time. So... who knows? I'm of the opinion, though, if a ghost wants to be seen, it'll be seen, and it'll let you know in certain specific ways or whatever, but it's not going to let itself be photographed. It's not going to come out and just start talking to somebody who's not, ghosts, if they do exist, who's to even say that they have an age, maybe they're just perpetual, or they've died already and they've just been watching the whole time, but...
yeah, it just... I mean, you hear weird things that happen, and you wonder.
What about demonic possession? What do you think of that?
No, I think that's play acting.
Damn, you hear that?
Putting on a show, yeah.
That is some loud shit.
Sounds like...
Should I turn my mic down? Can you hear the rain the whole time?
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I can see the visualizer. I'm just gonna turn it down a little bit and talk loud. But yeah, Esoteric Agenda. It's 2 hours, so it's kind of a watch. We could probably break it up into two different things, but we could do this as something to supplement the show with. But it'd be interesting to get your take on stuff. But yeah, I think demons and stuff are probably more Hollywood than reality. I think the reality, if you were possessed by a demon, it'd be a lot darker. It wouldn't look any different though. You would probably just, whoever it is would probably just be walking around doing normal shit. But they would be under the control of something else, something much more negative. What I do believe in are something called tulpas. And I haven't done too much research into them because, frankly, it scares me a lot. But a tulpa is an entity that you can divine. You can manifest it. But the way that you manifest it is by doing negative things to yourself. So, for instance, you'll have to meditate the whole time while you're trying to create this tulpa, but you'll starve yourself. You'll abuse yourself. You'll think only of and meditate only on negative things. You could do different sacrifices that involve pain on yourself. You just inflict as much pain as you can, and then eventually you will create this concentration of all the negativity in your life, and it'll turn into an entity, so to speak. So don't fuck with tulpas, don't fuck with Ouija boards, don't fuck with seances.
Yeah, I mean, if you do start to take those things seriously, but I still wonder. I still think I would do. I think I've done a lot of Ouija boards like when we were younger, but you can never take it seriously. So.
But see, the Ouija board, I think that is the whole point of the Ouija board. I think the Ouija board is supposed to be viewed as just like kind of a toy or something like that. But I bet it's tough to say because if a Ouija board really fucks somebody up, nobody would believe them enough to have everybody pay attention to it. It's not going to make nationwide news when somebody kills themselves after using a Ouija board or, goes off the rails or whatever.
Okay.
But I don't know. Ouija board, tulpas, and seances, I get just really, like, that red exclamation point pops above my head, and I'm just like, don't fuck around with it. I have, like, a respect/fear of things like that where I'm like, I don't necessarily believe in it, but I don't not believe it in enough to just go and try and probe around.
Yeah, there's no point like poking the bear or poking the beast or demon. Because, yeah, you might just be asking for it then. But again, I don't know. I think I'd still struggle.
Well, we were talking about it earlier. I definitely believe in God. I believe in a creative design theory. I don't necessarily think that evolution disproves intelligent design. I feel like it could just be a way that God decided to make people. The Big Bang Theory also doesn't disprove intelligent design in my opinion. It could just be a method that God, and if maybe God is everybody's consciousness all together all at once, but it was enough to make life at some point.
I still believe the multiverse theory as well. I think there are many universes.
I've had some experiences that would lead me to agree with that.
Well, it's just, just based on the science. Do you remember in the Men in Black where the aliens are marbles at the end?
Right, and there's a whole universe going on inside of a locker.
Yeah, and like God, who's to say what God actually is? I don't think he's some kindly gentleman sitting in the sky of clouds, or he's so bothered. I think once you get to that level of consciousness, I think things like sin and stuff like that, I think that's going probably too far. But it is about being a good person.
Well, the Christian Judeo sort of belief that God gave humans free will and he just lets us go on our own way. I kind of believe that, but the only thing that conflicts with it is like, why would God allow a child to come into existence that's only going to experience like pain or sexual depravity for its whole life, and then it's going to get murdered? It just seems a little fruitless. But that's not necessarily his fault, But if he knows it's going to happen beforehand, why not just, It would probably fuck up the whole universe, though, I guess, if he picked and chose.
I mean, that's free will. and maybe it's, you know, maybe it is difficult to change. Maybe he doesn't care as such because there's millions of universes, billions, infinite amount.
Yeah, and it's pretty like egotistical to think, oh, you know, we can conceptualize God or we can fit God into a linear little box.
Yeah. Well, that's very deep.
Deep like a well, bruh.
But I think, really, I mean, it's half two. Jesus, I think maybe we should think about wrapping up.
Yeah, yep. We got through tons of topics. We went over our time a little bit, 2.5 hours. That's a pretty hefty podcast to get through. But you know, I still don't think that's too long. It's not too long that somebody could listen to it while on their commute or something.
Yeah, and I mean the tech issues. I mean, I don't know how. We'll soon find out. I'll check the replay, but hopefully it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. So I don't think so. We'll get the echo situation figured out. That's more of a Discord thing than anyone's fault. I feel like everybody has issues with Discord, especially when they first start.
Because I didn't change that setting again, so if it start echoing again, I don't.
It may be echoing, but it may be muffled because of the rain in the background, all the noise.
Right. Okay.
All right. Well, follow us. We're going to have to figure out how to plug your channel, too, if you ever want to do independent stuff. But for right now, dlive.tv/FlowEuphoria. Follow us there. Hit us up. Join the Discord.
Guys.
Yeah, if you really want to link up, join the Discord. It's right there.
And feel free to call in. I mean, you know,
yeah,
don't mind.
Definitely, I would actually be preferred if somebody called in with some bants. You know, we're not sensitive around here. You can have any view, any expression or opinion that you want to express.
Yep.